Hello, my name is Dr. Bobby Brooke Herrera. I'm co-founder and chief scientific officer of E25Bio, an MIT spin-off company. We are developing one of the most sophisticated yet simple platforms for infectious disease detection and reporting. Highly infectious diseases pose one of, if not the greatest risk to humanity. If we look back in modern history, repeated outbreaks of new infectious diseases cause thousands, hundreds of thousands, and even millions of deaths in very short periods of time. In the coming years, undoubtedly, there will be a new infectious disease outbreak. Are we ready, and can we stop it before it happens? At E25Bio, we are a core team of Harvard and MIT scientists whom have spent years on the ground in Asia, Africa, and South America, chasing highly infectious pathogens and witnessing firsthand the destruction they have on people and the vast limitations of our current public health system. In order to mount a defense against infectious diseases, one must first know what they're encountering. Therefore, we've taken the modern centralized laboratory and shrunk it into simple yet robust diagnostic tests. These tests allow one individual to come to their result at rapid speed. Our tests contain within them patented and highly specific antibodies that detect infectious diseases in less than 5 minutes and with only a small volume of blood. We've mastered our technology such that we can detect not only one infection, but multiple infections in a single test. We've also developed a mobile phone application. This mobile phone application image captures the test result, converting that result into data, and we use artificial intelligence to provide doctors with clinical decision support to inform their therapeutic efforts. Our mobile phone app also geopositions the image capture, such that for the first time, we can track active infections in real time. We are now building our machine learning models to take this collective data and to make outbreak prediction a reality, such that we can anticipate an outbreak and prevent it before it ever occurs. While 3 billion people living within the equatorial belt are the most vulnerable, the truth is highly infectious diseases see no boundaries and can inflict harm in the least and most developed countries and cities around the world. The World Bank estimates that the cost of the next severe pandemic will be nearly 1% of global wealth, or $570 billion. Therefore, we've transferred our technology to local manufacturers. These manufacturers are able to rapidly scale and efficiently deploy our tests, allowing us to sell our tests well below our competitors. Truly, this is an affordable solution for public health response. In 2018, we performed clinical pilots around the world on 1,000 samples for several of our tests demonstrating high sensitivity and specificity. Our results are published in top peer-reviewed journals. With the $250,000, we plan to launch one of our tests. It's a dengue test in New Delhi, India, a city of almost 20 million people. And we will scale our AI team to enhance our data predictive modeling going forward. 1 year after launch, we will have sold this dengue test in over 1 million users, generating our own data, but creating the first ever invaluable data set for predictive modeling going forward. At E25Bio, we strive for global health equity, so join us in creating a more just public health system.
Hi, Bobby. Thanks very much for your presentation. It was great. So can you tell me how the data analytics end of your solution, how that can help prevent infectious disease epidemics in the future, and how can your solution therefore lead to more healthier and sustainable cities of the future?
Sure. To answer your first question, the data analytics has a manifold application. So we're not only preventing outbreaks in human populations, the idea is to prevent outbreaks before they enter the human population. So while I pitched today that we can detect infectious disease in humans, we want to start beforehand. And so this goes sort of to our business model in which we would partner with governments that do active surveillance year-round. They can go into the field, use mosquito extracts, and track viruses or infectious diseases within the mosquito population before they enter the human population. That's one way to prevent infectious disease outbreaks in human populations. Another way to prevent infectious diseases in human populations is by tracking active infections in real time. And because our diagnostic test is a point-of-care test, it allows us to come to a result within 5 minutes, allowing a prevention of rapid spread in large cities. And then moreover, to your final question, which was how do we sustain global health equity? And I think that that's a really important component to public health preparedness, one of which is important to note that for these types of infectious diseases, there are no current antivirals or vaccines. Diagnostics are one component that can help streamline vaccine and antiviral development. So once we combine companion diagnostics to pharmaceutical companies developing antivirals and vaccines, we think that we can ultimately in the future prevent infectious diseases all around to impact global public health.
Yeah, a question completely different from a technology perspective. What is behind you? Who else is in the team? Behind the technology, are there marketeers, sellers, people that can build partnerships, that can build community work, etc.? So if you can tell me about your organization.
Yes. So we are a very young company. We were established in September 2018. So we haven't even hit the 1-year mark. And as I had mentioned, we have not launched our product in any country, but we plan to do so by Q1 2020. Right now, the team is quite lean. We are a core team of Harvard and MIT scientists who really have spent many years on the ground in South America, Asia, and Africa, building this technology, building the partnerships with hospitals in the field that will use and adopt our technology. I think it's important to note that as we continue to launch, we will be expanding our team to include the data analytics part, but of course we're going to need marketers, sales individuals, people that are on the ground distributing. And so I think as we continue to grow and scale our company, all of those components will come into effect.
Bobby, can you talk about the details you're able to extract from the photos?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're able to extract two things. One, the diagnostic part. So based on band pixel intensity, so you see two bands up there, based on the band pixel intensity, the strength of that band, we can actually correlate how severe the disease is. And so that allows us to do predictive analytics. If the band is not so dark, that means you have less virus in your blood, and therefore you may not, in the case of dengue, you may not progress to hemorrhagic fever or severe disease. So that's one component. The second component is really what we're really excited about is the fact that we're able to geo-position the image capture such that we can create dispersion maps. And so for the first time, our technology allows us to track active infections in real time. And we believe really that that's the future of outbreak mitigation and response.
Questions from the judges? Do we have a microphone?
Hi, I'll ask another question. So what do you want the legacy of your company to be in 10 to 15 years' time? What do you want to have achieved?
Well, I think first and foremost, this is an area that not only myself, but the other co-founders are passionate. The other co-founders have spent 20 plus years working on solutions for public health response. And ultimately, over the course of those 20 years, and myself, I've been in this field for 7 years, we've witnessed the vast limitations of public health response. And so I think the legacy of E25Bio is really to strengthen global health equity and to increase the level of the way that we currently perform public health response, which in a lot of cases it's isolated. And we think that diagnostics and outbreak preparedness is one way in which we can impact the whole system as a whole. And so I think in terms of legacy, we see a longer term vision in which we're not only impacting individuals at the individual level, but at the community level and a broader scale.